Hey class, how are things going? This is your instructor, your friendly instructor, here to talk just a little bit about this week and but more importantly about your international management case. Hopefully you've been enjoying this class. I'm very pleased with how people are doing with the type of insight that you're providing on the discussion board. Of course, we've got our integration essay number 4 that you're working on this week. That's due on Sunday. So I narrowed that down a little bit. It's not as expansive as perhaps some of our other integration essays have been. Hopefully you enjoy that, find it useful to facilitate your own learning, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. What I really want to talk about today is your integration or international management interviews. This is meant to be different, but actually an especially fun part of the class. So a lot of interesting people out there. The great majority of you live on the border. There's some that are wandering around elsewhere. Most of you are in the community, bilingual, binational community, that of course on an international border. This is a very active place where pretty much you have thousands, tens of thousands of people involved in one way or another with international management broadly defined. So I wanted to give the class the opportunity to take advantage of location and go out and actually talk to people that have been doing the stuff we've been talking about this semester. So this is what the international management case is all about. So this is covered in the syllabus, so make sure you review that. But the idea here is we've gone through 14, 15, 16 chapters, whatever it's going to be by the time we end the semester. We've covered interesting topics, and as you know, we've emphasized integration in this class. So what you'll need to do for this project is to identify someone involved in international trade. You can be imaginative of this. Maybe you've got somebody in your family, you've got a cousin, you've got a friend, you've got an uncle, you've got a friend of an uncle. Somebody is doing something involving international management, international business in your network. If not, then perhaps use your context to find somebody who has. And if that doesn't work, come talk to me and I'll set you up with somebody. For example, it is Tuesday night. On Thursday at 3:30 here in the College of Business in Edinburgh. We're going to have a couple guest speakers as part of our entrepreneurship speaker series. One of those is that there starts at 3:30. We have a person named Pilar Gonzalez who produces, her company is Dip It by Pilar. She produces a yogurt-based dip. You could come to the presentation 3:30, College of Business, room 110. Hear from Pilar. She's, last I heard, is working to sell her products not only on the U.S. side, but also on the Mexican side in HEBs throughout northeastern Mexico. So she'd be a perfect person to interview for this. Second person we're having at the same date is Joaquin Spanner. He is involved in the cotton export business. He buys cotton within the United States, primarily Texas. He stores it here in the Rio Grande Valley and sells it to people in Mexico and increasingly to Asia, and actually exports the cotton, takes it through Mexico to the ports on Mexico's west coast and exports cotton to Asia from there. So again, another person involved in international management that by stumbling on campus on Thursday, you'd have a chance to hear from, get the basics, perhaps get their contact information and have a short interview sometime after that for purposes of this project. So there's all kinds of ways you can do this. I'm sure the great majority of you, without too much trouble, can find a person who's doing international things with, interesting things with international management. So purpose here, you found someone, and go through the text and kind of just identify some of the major topics, such as, for example, in week 3, we had, that was our organization or our culture chapter. We did things like cover Hofstede's research on national culture. It's got a bunch of dimensions, including things like individualism versus collectivism. We also had, as part of that with current events, this is our Culture in Norway videos. I enjoyed those. It's kind of fun, especially compared that to Latin American culture, border culture for that matter. So you would find perhaps your interviewee has worked extensively in Mexico or Norway or Colombia or wherever it might be. Get some of the material from week 3 and kind of ask them some questions, asking them to talk about national culture, where they worked or have experience, and how that worked out, and if you can relate it to individualism or collectivism or something like that. That's going to clearly show that you read the text and can add to our knowledge about what we've covered in this class. So same thing with, for example, Chapter 6 talks about political and legal systems, things like country risk. Maybe you've had somebody who's had some time working in Venezuela or done import-export with Venezuela or is from Venezuela. Perfect person to interview and talk about risk and political systems and how that can go in the wrong direction. Chapter 11 we just covered, talked about international strategies, great integration responsiveness strategies, how much the multinational firms wants to adjust what they're doing to the needs of the local market, or perhaps they can be more globally efficient. That's what the old integration responsiveness and the strategies associated with those are all about. So you got somebody who's done international management stuff, been in the company doing stuff overseas. You could talk to them and ask them some questions about what their company did as far as trying to do the same thing everywhere, or try to gain competitive advantage through serving the more customized needs, individual needs of a particular market. So again, that would get back directly to things we've talked about in Chapter 11. Okay, so what kind of questions you should ask. You should take a video of that ideally, your phone, iPad, which I'm using here, whatever might work for you, and record that. And if you are highly skilled and have some experience before with editing that in one form or another, putting titles or taking out sections that might not be particularly important, adding captions, whatever you think might be appropriate, that would add to what you're doing. If you don't have a whole lot of experience or don't have time to learn about editing software, if you've got great questions, then perhaps you could just post that interview. It's up to you. I'm looking for your ability to demonstrate the knowledge that you've gained in this class. Ask your interviewee about those types of things and get some information back. And we should be able to relate that to what we've covered this semester. Okay, so you're doing some kind of video, maybe edited, maybe not, and you're going to post that during finals week. And I'm going to put it in a forum where everybody could see that, and I very much encourage other students to check other people's videos out. I'll leave the course open for a week or so after the semester, so you'll have that opportunity if people are posting right up at the deadline. And I think this is going to be a fantastic way to actually finish the semester with this particular class. This assignment is meant to be fun, interesting, intriguing, engaging, all those types of things. So approach it that way. This is your opportunity to, a real good excuse to find and talk to somebody who's been engaged in international business and learn as much as possible from them. All right, I hope you enjoy the assignment. If you have questions, of course, please let me know. You can always contact me by email. That's probably the easiest way. Again, great work over the last couple of weeks on discussion boards. Looking forward to great things with the latest integration essay and a very strong end over the next 3 or 4 weeks, however long we've got to the semester. I'm proud of what the remaining students we have in this class are accomplishing, and enjoy and be proud of what you accomplished so far this semester. Lots of you are doing fantastic work. All right, that's it for me. Bye-bye.